Good morning, everyone. Today we're very fortunate to have with us for our birthday service Reverend Don Castro. Reverend Castro, if you look closely, we're giving him a chance to come home. He grew up in Santa Clara and went to school at San Jose State. I won't say when and stuff like that because we don't want to embarrass him. But he came down and apparently he's been going around looking at his old neighborhood and other places that he used to enjoy, and he's been really enjoying the sunlight because up in Seattle, they have the overcast days so often and such. But one thing that he can do up there, and he'll probably explain it a little bit more later, but he can see the sound up there, and think about that. So without any further ado, we'd like to have Sensei deliver his message for us this morning. Sensei.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What Fujimoto Sensei was referring to was before I became a minister, when I was quite young, and my college roommate was in a motorcycle accident, and he had to go back to Seattle, where his parents lived, in order to recover. And so I went up there to visit him, and we looked out on the Puget Sound. I didn't know what Puget Sound was. So every day we would go out on their balcony and they'd look out on the water and they'd say, "How do you like the sound?" And I'd say, it's nice, nice. And so finally, I think it was the third day, they said, "How do you like the sound?" And I said, "Yeah, it's very quiet." And they laughed and laughed, So I think there's an urban legend in Seattle about the Californian who came up and listened to the sound. But today we are observing Earth Day. And Earth Day is on April 22nd. So it's actually the day of Earth Day today. And it is the birthday of John Muir. So he founded the Sierra Club. So he's another local person. I'm sure he tramped through this area on his way to Yosemite from San Francisco. Probably came through San Jose and went up. He writes about all the wildflowers as he goes through the Central Valley and the foothills of the Sierras up to Yosemite. You should really read a biography of John Muir. He really was a Buddhist, although since he lived 100 years ago, he probably didn't know anything or much about Buddhism. But his statements are very, very Buddhistic. And there's there are a number of wonderful biographies of John Muir. And I would highly recommend, he's really an amazing person. So he was a conservationist. He saved Yosemite. He was not able to save the Hetch Hetchy, which now they're saying, why in the world did we ever dam Hetch Hetchy? It was to get water for San Francisco. But it's too late. 100 years ago, dammed up, and now we lost what was called the junior Yosemite Valley. But what I wanted to emphasize, because I have very little time today, and before the service, the most eager people were here, and so these young ladies over here, I said I was going to direct all my comments towards them. I didn't realize all the rest of you would be here. I thought maybe I'd just be talking to them. But what I want to emphasize today is, and this is really important, really important, to be a Buddhist is automatically to be an ecologist and a conservationist. Right? To be a Buddhist is automatically to be an ecologist and a conservationist. Our basic teachings of interdependence, non-duality, which is a very important idea. So now ecology is science. And this is why I say an ecologist and a conservationist. Because ecology is science. Buddhism is not just science. Buddhism, and this is very important because I know many of you will become doctors. Based on what I have seen in 31 years in Seattle, Betsuin, our kids are so well educated and they become scientists, they become physicians, and they become leaders. And so it's important to know your religious tradition. And did you know, and you don't hear this all that often, but do you know what the basis of Buddhism is? What is, for all Buddhists, what is basic Buddhism? How does it start? What's the starting point? 4 things. The 4 noble truths. The 4 noble truths, right? And what is the first of the 4 noble truths? And this is often really misunderstood. People will say, oh, Buddhism is all about suffering. One of our members went to the doctor, and the doctor asked him, his physician asked him, or found out he was a Buddhist. He said, you don't want to go there. He said, it's all about suffering. And it's like saying, we don't want to go to the doctor, it's all about suffering, No, that's just the starting point. So the starting point is, Buddhism is based on a medical model. So the starting point, and this, symptom. Today we're looking at the symptom of the earth is in pain. So Buddhism doesn't just start with suffering. It starts with the word dukkha. Dukkha means dissatisfaction, disease, anger. It's a very, very broad term. There's no English equivalent to the word dukkha. But it can mean attachment to happiness. It's dukkha, because eventually that happiness is going to go away. We're going to suffer. We're going to have problems. We're going to have pain. Now, Buddhism is about disharmony. It's about pollution. It's about poisoning. It's that life has many, many problems, including intellectual problems. People can get attached to ideas that have no basis in reality. People can believe in things that don't really exist. It can cause all kinds of pain and suffering. You're seeing that in the world today, all over, where we've got the truth and everybody else is wrong, kind of thing. You can believe in that, but I don't believe that. Just because you believe it doesn't make it true. Right? So the 4 noble truths applied to the world. There are profound problems of pollution and climate change, coral reefs dying. Environmental issues are going to be really powerful forces in the lives of the young people today. As you go through your life, and I worry so much about my grandchildren. What are they going to face? What kind of a world are they going to face? They're going to have to come to some solution to many environmental problems. So, the four techniques of the physician. You look, you see the symptom. So that's the first of the 4 noble truths. The second one is symptom diagnosis, right? This is what's causing the problem. You diagnosis. So this is basic Buddhism, only we tend to also, of course, include ourselves and our own personality and what's causing problems with, our personal life. But it's broad. It's all-inclusive. That's why Buddhism is ecology in the broadest sense. So, symptom diagnosis, what comes after, in medical terms, what comes after symptom diagnosis? You want to know You know, you go to the doctor and he says, you know, I've got this pain, and he says, well, you've got cancer. You go, then what's your next question? Prognosis. Is it curable? Is it going to kill me? Or can it be cured? Right? So, symptom, diagnosis, prognosis. The prognosis is that if we stop polluting things, if we do this and that, and I'm not going to go into all of that because it's so profound, but symptom, diagnosis, prognosis, and cure. That's the fourth of the Four Noble Truths. And the cure is on Earth Day, we say, we need all of us to be conservationists. We need to conserve this precious world that we are inheriting and we are responsible for. And that is very profound, very complex. So you are going to be challenged. You young people are going to be challenged in your life to come up with solutions. You're going to need a vision, which I think Buddhism provides. Wonderful vision. When you look at your spiritual and cultural heritage, when you look at Japan and the love of nature in Japan and the sense of humility that people have traditionally in Japan, these to me contribute to a cure. You know, understanding, that's wisdom. That's the right raised hand of Amida Buddha. Wisdom, we have to understand. The left hand is compassion, kindness. And I think the left hand is also conservation. So today we celebrate the earth, but we can only really celebrate the earth if we commit ourselves to trying to preserve biodiversity, for instance. So many species are going extinct, you know. So it means becoming humble. I challenge the youth at Seattle Betsuin. I say there's a meditation that I want you all to practice, and in an instant you can practice this meditation. Every time you throw something away, it goes through your mind. Where did it come from? Where is it going? And now you have choices. You actually have to make choices. And in Seattle, we're also, in my kitchen, we have, well, this is compostable, you know, and so you put it in the compost bin in the kitchen, then you take it out, you put it in the compost bin outside. Then you have recyclable, right? So, you know, as I look at this, is it recyclable, compostable, or is it trash? And the trash in Seattle, because the city of Seattle is very much committed to minimizing the amount of trash, garbage that we have. Because the landfills are getting so huge. We generate very little garbage every week. It's recyclable. You put it in that bin. Actually, we have 3 drawers in the kitchen. So you pull out this drawer, compost. This drawer has 2 bins, recyclable and garbage. You know? And I think that's just standard practice. So you look at something and I think, oh, what a shame. Why did they have to package what used to be packaged in paper, like, for instance, cereal liners inside? Used to be paper when I was a kid. Now they're all plastic. Or ice cream. You know, I go into the kitchen, the freezer, I take out an ice cream bar. It's packaged in plastic. Used to be paper when I was a kid. I just picked up to put some food in to cut flowers, and the food is in plastic. Well, the other day, I picked up one that had been around for a long time. It was paper. And I thought, why? It's so easy to package things in paper, you know? And why did we go to plastic? Why do I have to peel off this little plastic thing off of the avocado that's a label when it could easily be paper or the apple? You look at it, pull it off, and you stretch it, you go, What are they doing? Putting a plastic label, and then they're asking us to compost this apple, but I've got to take this little sticker off of it first. You know? So there's all these contradictions in our society. And I think as Buddhists, we need to have integrity. Integrity means to have a clear vision and to try to live out that vision. We can't worry so much about the big picture. We just do what you can do as an individual. So, 10 years ago, on the first Earth Day service here, I was the guest speaker. Now, 10 years, I'm thinking back, wow, all the changes that have been made in 10 years in my life. I'm retired now and lots of things. But it was wonderful to come back and see your eco-sangha, see what you are doing. And I am inspired by what I saw yesterday, the displays in the gym, and all of the people who are working so hard to make sure that this is a meaningful experience when we come to the temple, and that the temple stands for something. And what we learn here, we apply in our daily lives, in our family lives, at home. So I want to thank you. It's wonderful to see many friends that I've known for so many years. I want to thank you for inviting me back on this 10th anniversary of a very important event. Namo Amitabha.